Good evening and happy Molina Monday. Now, I literally had food poisoning this morning and I'm still in the office, so there's no excuse for any of you to ever miss a beat. Now, with the recent breaking news of Biden getting very close to eliminating the 1031 exchange on any profits exceeding $500,000, I decided to break down everything you need to know about the 1031 exchange and what this new rule could mean for the real estate industry, home values, your clients, and you. But before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that we were just voted the #1 lender in Palm Beach County by the Palm Beach Post, and we are back to being open 7 days a week, 2-week closings, 7-day appraisals, and 7-day loan commitments. You can reach me anytime at 561-801-0260. So what is a 1031 exchange? Basically, it's the best tax incentive for investing in real estate ever since it was created in 1921. How does it work? Let's say you bought an investment property for $600,000 and sold it for $1.2 million. You would have a capital gain of $600,000 on your investment. Then the IRS comes in and says, "Hey, you now owe me 15 to 20% of that $600,000 gain unless you do a 1031 exchange." Now, 15% of 600,000 capital gain would be 90,000 and 20% would be 120,000. So what do you think most people do? They do the 1031 exchange. How do you do it? Once you sell your investment property, the proceeds don't go to you. They go to a third party called a qualified intermediary that temporarily holds on to the funds. Meanwhile, you have 45 days to look for another investment property of equal or greater value, and you have 180 days, roughly 6 months, to close on it. Once the exchange is completed, you no longer have to pay the 15 to 20% capital gains taxes because you simply rolled it over into the next property. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. Put yourself in the shoes of this scenario. Let's say you bought this $600,000 investment property in 1990 and sold it for $1.2 million in 2001. You did the 1031 exchange, you saved the 90,000 to 120,000 in taxes, and you bought a bigger investment property in 2001 for 1.2 million. You then held onto it until this year and you sold it for 10 million. Now, your capital gain would be 8.8 million, which means you would still owe the IRS between 15 to 20% depending on your income, and you would owe Uncle Sam 1.32 million to 1.76 million. But instead, you do another 1031 exchange, you pay no capital gains taxes, and you buy an even bigger building for 10 million. Now, what happens when you die? Let's say that's in 25 years, and by now, this third deal you bought for 10 million is worth 40 million. That's a capital gain of 30 million. 15 to 20% would be 4.5 to 6 million. Who pays that now that you're dead? Most people would think that your heirs have to. But with the 1031 exchange, your built-in capital gains taxes disappears upon your death, and the property gets valued based on the current market value. This is called the stepped up basis, and it's one of the best parts of the 1031 exchange. So for the past 100 years on the dot, since 1921, this is how people have been going from everyday normal working people like you and me to dying with a huge legacy of real estate that you can give down to your family tax free. But Biden is very close to #1, eliminating the 1031 exchange on any profits exceeding $500,000, and #2, to double the top federal capital gains tax from 20% to 40%, 39.6 to be exact. Now, I don't take sides in politics, never have, never will, but it's important to understand how this will affect the markets, your clients, and the communities you serve. So here's what's going to happen. There is already a massive shortage of housing inventory, and the new policy is going to funnel investors away from big multifamily and make single family deals a lot more attractive. The unfortunate side of this is that even though this policy is meant to tax the rich, housing is going to become more unaffordable for everyday people by making it more desirable to own smaller real estate than bigger real estate. Investors with much more liquidity than regular buyers are going to flood the single family 1 to 4 unit market if this happens. And it will get even harder for the average American to be competitive when buying a home. Even if you rent, landlords are going to recoup the 1031 exchange losses by raising rents, again, not on the rich, but on everyday Americans. On the positive side, this is good for anyone that already owns a home or is buying a 1 to 4 unit deal in the near future before values soar. Let me know what you think. In the meantime, buy lots of real estate. It's going to go up in value. I'm always going to keep you posted. Kick ass. And I hope you had an amazing Molina Monday.